Hello and welcome. Today you're going to see the power of no-code integration for Sitecore XM for both data and content. Now we're going to take a look at how to integrate Sitecore XM with both content and data using the no-code integration connectors of Put It Forward. We're logged into the Put It Forward integration console. Uh, Down the left-hand side here, you see a number of discrete functions that manage everything from integration to process orchestration to reporting and analytics and statistics and predictive insights. We're going to be focusing primarily today on the integration of Sitecore XM in both content and data scenarios. So first, let's look at a data-driven scenario here in between Sitecore XM and Salesforce. This could be any CRM system, could be any ERP system, any other type of back office or data capture system that you need to manage. When we step into the process designer, we see a number of discrete process steps here. You read these top to bottom, left to right. Think about these as steps that happen along the journey of moving data in between multiple or single systems. For example, first I need to create a customer record or an account. Or secondly, I need to see if it exists already. Each one of those are discrete steps that you need to have in place before you move on to the next step. Sometimes these are manual steps that are being automated. Sometimes these are steps that exist within one system but may not be connected to one another. But the focus of today is really on the integration. So I'm going to step into the integration designer after selecting one of those modules. And as you can see down on the left-hand side here is very simple data mapping, as well as a set of procedures and steps that you use for managing a record as it goes from the source system to the destination system. In this case here, I have one field that needs to be mapped. This is the ID field. So I'm going to click the link button, and then I'm going to be given the available fields that are unmapped inside that system right now, or available to that end user to be able to map. And I'm going to select one of them. This actually creates the integration in between the source and the destination system. If all I needed to do was move a single record or pieces of data back and forth, the integration would be completed at this point. However, often that's not the case. Sometimes you need to manipulate that data, and you can do so by selecting the functions inside Put It Forward. Now, a manipulation could be anything as simple as adding a date stamp, concatenating two fields, going to do a check, and validating it against an external system. Maybe it's an address field you want to validate it or format it into a structure that works for the target system. Very simple. You select the function there. Then what this is going to do is add a date to that ID field and essentially create a unique identifier beyond what was already there. Once I hit save, this would be committed, and then all I would need to do is run. However, if I wanted to manipulate the record itself in some way to maybe transform it or put some conditions on it to ensure that it's complete and accurate before it hits the target system, basically I would step in here and I would add conditions to the actual record itself. Conditions could be as simple as if this, then that, or then do something. So in this case here, it's looking to see, if the record has any empty fields in it, then do something about it and populate them. This can equally be applied to what you do when you have fields that are missing and how do you handle them and so on. Often this is used for ensuring that you have the right data going into the target system to help preserve data quality, data integrity, and ensuring that there are no rejections in the records that are flowing into there. So moving back into the platform manager here, let's take a look at the content-driven scenario. In this case here, we're going to look at a process flow in between a task management and digital asset management system and Sitecore XM. Again, process steps here. We won't go into each one of those, different level of conversation, but we're going to focus on the design aspect of this. The design aspect is the same as it was in using with data. We're going to look to populate and map fields together or records. In this case, it's content. So it could be an image, a PDF, a document, what have you, maybe flowing in between the two different systems. In this case here, I'm going to unmap something. And now I want to be able to link this particular field here with something that's available from the source system. In this case, we're just going to be using the file name. Equally, it could be the actual physical file itself. It could be a virtual link to a file. It could be the metadata about the information, what have you, depends on the scenario that you're trying to map together. In this case here, you can also see that we have the ID, the content mapped in, between each other. We have virtual URLs so that links are maintained in between these different systems and so on. The process steps are the same on this environment as in the previous. In this case here, there's some logic to skip it when certain conditions are in place and process that data along so that it gets into the target environment. Again, very simple two-step process here inside Put It Forward for connecting Sitecore XM into target systems, whether it's content or data. First is the field mapping. Second is the process logic around how to manage the record. And then when we close this, we get back into the actual process designer itself, which is managing the conditions and the process steps that need to happen in between two or more multiple different systems.